Low levels of carbon found. High levels of water found.
All right.
A geothermal
Water,
vent.
water,
That
water,
will be useful.
water, water everywhere.
High levels of aluminum found.
So we're not going robotic. That's how we're going to finish that this time. A lot of aluminum. This tiles look kind of nice. I wonder if there's silicon up here. It probably is. If there could be some iron right here and some silicon right next to it, that would be amazing. No, that's water. Of course it's water. Why wouldn't it be more water? Ah. All right, guys. I feel like
Low levels of silicon
we
found.
might need to make some water resources this
Expansive
game. I'm just
colony
saying.
founded.
Did he actually find iron somewhere?
Expansive
He just
colony
deleted
expanded.
some of these amazing
Expansive
tiles just for a
levels
straight
of
up
iron
boost at the start of the game. Ah, man. I understand people who do that. It's not a bad decision, but it hurts me. It hurts me deep inside to see those amazing tiles being deleted. Also, I think we might have already lost this game.
High levels of iron
Ooh,
found.
that's usable. Maybe we could go robotic and just mess with everybody's heads. I'm not seeing a lot of silicon. So even though there's a lot of water, we can try doing something really dumb. Like this. And then just go mine,
Commencing build
steel,
stand by for
steel. There.
Medium levels of
Buy up
carbon
all the
found.
aluminum because that guy, we could know if we were paying attention that aluminum was going to be fairly cheap
Scientific
early
colony
on
founded.
because this guy planted on so much of it. Right, he deleted a huge patch of aluminum. We knew that it happened. If we were paying attention, we could have planned on aluminum being very cheap. Like, we could have counted on that. That's not honestly why I did it the way I did it. I could lie to you guys and tell you that it was, but it's not, if I'm honest. It was just not. I'll take this geotherm.
Expansive colony expanded.
And do I want to secure some aluminum for myself this game? Probably. I am robotic. It's kind of a good idea most of the time to have aluminum income, at least a little bit. Although a lot of people seem to have some, but there's still some left over to take. Maybe we'll just go for it. Oh, there's a high over there in the corner. Let's just go for that. Extra claim would be really nice. I don't know if we actually need this iron mine. This probably should have been steel. I was going to put down 3 steel here, and I didn't do that, so it was kind of stupid. It's just been a very poorly played opening. Straight up, guys. There's really nothing else to say about it. 32,000. Man, people are valuing claims so much more as they get more confident at the game. It's fantastic. Like, everybody's getting more confident. Everybody's getting better at defending themselves and understanding the game. And as that keeps happening, people will just keep pressing higher and higher and higher and higher and higher on those claims, and I love it. Because it used to be you didn't see a claim go above, like, 12,000. The guy who pushed to 12,000, he was bold. He was pushing the limits. These days, no, claims don't go for below 20 these days, early in the game. It's nuts. I love it. I even had a guy, though, fairly recently. I was playing a game early on, and I was just like, whatever, 20,000 for a claim. Sure, let's go. I don't know why I just sold all that steel. That was stupid in every way. Because I needed that steel. I was going to put down a geotherm. On the other hand, I can grab a new claim and then just get more steel production down, so maybe it's all right. Especially because we have secured that aluminum a little bit. It's pretty far away. It's not very good aluminum production, but hopefully it'll see us through. Anyways, back to the story. Back to the story. This guy told me, good luck getting out of that debt, just because I took a 20,000 claim. And I was just like, you're going to see what happens. You're going to see why I do these things. And then he did see. And he lost the game. Quite rapidly, actually. He was pretty much the worst player in that game, if we're honest. And I'll go ahead and call him out on that, just because he made that comment. It was not a good game for him. So yeah, you can take on a lot of debt at the start of the game, and people are getting better at it, and it's pretty insane. Now that they know how to actually play the game and make money.
Scavenger colony expanded.
Alright, 10 seconds left till we can grab this goon squad. That's plenty of time, thankfully, to get this geotherm online. With any luck, we'll be alright. All this steel production, apparently I didn't need it.
The black market is
Could have used a
online.
little more aluminum. Glad I secured some aluminum, but aluminum's really expensive, and I might just want to push for more of it. Yellow's got a lot coming in already. Green kind of has some. Red doesn't really have any. It's a little bit here as well, but not a lot, because he went and deleted all of it, and then he put down a farm and a steel mill and a food thing. So he's just a computer, apparently, is what it turns out. He might not actually be a computer, but he might legitimately be a computer, and it wouldn't surprise me all that much. I really want an upgrade. It's this aluminum, though, that's killing us. Well, we can upgrade. The steel is not doing so hot, because iron's kind of expensive. So let's, turn this one off and these on. There we go. I think I'm just going to throw down another geotherm with steel being this cheap. So let's claim that. Let's claim a little extra aluminum. And then I think I'm going to grab this carbon. Carbon's pretty cheap right now, but I'm hoping to make electronics later in the game as a robotic player, and so I'm just going to take some of it anyway. Not worrying about making money right away. I could worry about it and just throw down some food, because I can actually put down one farm and have that still make me money. Maybe that would be better. Maybe I don't need to worry about this carbon for the time being. I will worry about the aluminum, though. Oh, that was 38,000. I thought it was 28,000, because the last thing I heard was 24,000. You guys are going nuts! You're crazy! You guys are actually insane. All right, 32,000. I'm excited about this. This is ridiculous.
The black market is
Well,
online.
let's get this geotherm down. Everybody else is fighting over other things, so maybe we can get away with it. This was a stupid tile. No, I think that's actually fine. All I'm going to want is 2 aluminum tiles, and this is the closest one. I could take this for future adjacency bonuses. It's highly unlikely I'll actually want future adjacency bonuses, though. Yeah, farm, go. You're probably my single most profitable thing right now, except for my power. Which my power isn't actually making me money, so go you. I could actually just turn all of our steel off, maybe, but... whatever. No, let's do it. Let's not whatever it. Let's just do it. Hope to try and get out of our debt so we can actually make money on power. Let's see. Let's see. We're not going to take water immediately because there's plenty of water available. Hopefully we don't need to worry about it too much. Steel, still technically losing money when you include the power price, so we'll just leave everything as is. Could grab up a mutiny, just in case. For if we get mutinied, we could just have one ready. We could also just grab a goon squad, because those are only 3,000, and mutinies are actually more expensive, and somebody just bought a mutiny, so let's make sure we're protected. That sounds a bit nicer. And we just want this upgrade now. The aluminum's coming in. The iron's coming in. The steel, like, we're almost to the point where we're actually making money on power, right? We're making 300-ish a second on power. Turning the steel off is a big deal in all of that. Obviously, these blimps are costing us a lot of power, unfortunately, but there's really not a lot to do about that besides not ship aluminum, and I doubt that would be worthwhile. Yep, other people getting hit by all that stuff, that's fine. We should be very close-ish to an upgrade at this point. Hopefully we can push to it before too long and be alright. Nope, upgrades keep getting more expensive. You guys keep driving up the prices.
Full hardware
Okay.
upgrade complete.
Turn the steel back on. With any luck, we can push to a few additional farms. Let's check and make sure. Okay, there are some farms down, but they haven't been producing long. Well, they haven't actually been producing yet. He only just put them down. So I think we can commit quite heavily to the farm thing and be okay. Even though they're quite expensive, they should be valuable. And then maybe we'll just take some water because water's starting to move up there. But there was a lot of it on the map, so we didn't need to take it early. So we're still kind of okay. Glass is an option. I don't know how well it's going to sustain its price, though. So I'm not moving into it right away. I just want to get these farms down immediately. And then we'll figure everything else out. Geotherm I'm not too concerned about. Power has come down drastically, so having 2 geotherms isn't even all that valuable. Maybe I shouldn't have committed to the second goon squad. I could have just had $3,000 more and been fine. Let's actually move into a little extra steel production because I don't know what else we would put on that tile. And this last claim can go ahead and grab us some carbon. Seriously, 24,000 for a geotherm right now? You guys are nuts. Also, Asimov. Is he the one who's been bidding so much? Well, he's got 57,000 in debt. Somebody should have more than that. 5,000, 42, 57,000 for Clark as well. Okay, that's interesting. Clark's doing very well this game. He is definitely a bit of a concern. He got to those reactors. He got to those farms. We should actually just do a little bit of that to him. Now, we're going to get hit in return because he's not going to have liked that, but what can you do? What can you actually do besides just sit here and make steel? I'm really good at sitting here and making steel, guys. Hopefully it'll take him a little while to respond. We could actually get upgraded again right now if we wanted to. Do we want to push for an Offworld that crazy fast? Fuel's pretty good. We could maybe manage it. Just upgrade, go into electronics, an engineering lab, and then press for an Offworld. It's an option, but it's a dangerous option. So we're still just kind of sit here and waiting for now. We don't need to rush it. We don't need to rush into those claims. And we need to actually be able to use them. So we need a lot of steel built up is my basic point. Like a lot of steel built up. The one thing we might want is an extra claim to throw down an engineering lab, or maybe even just deleting this steel mill, getting an engineering lab down now to start pumping out those resources we know we're going to want. That might be the better option to think long term that way. So we're just being patient. It'll be all right. Aluminum's tanked, unfortunately. I think it stayed high for long enough that a lot of people got into it, and then, yeah, we can see a lot of people went ahead and added to their aluminum production. So, even Red here slowed himself down by doing that. Man, glass is expensive. It makes an Offworld real expensive. Let's grab a goon squad if we know we're going to move into that. We can just plan on that again. Try at least and make it work. Steel's getting pricey compared to iron. It's pretty nuts. All right. We still don't have anywhere near enough because I just want to throw down a bunch of electronics at factories the second we upgrade. Let's upgrade electronics production. Still making good money on the food. Interestingly enough, nobody ever countered by taking out our food. That was kind of awkward to me. Like, our food is still going very strong. Sell down some iron just to make that price a bit more realistic for ourselves. Okay, this is all good. This is all just fine.
Colony expanded.
Man, you guys are really driving glass through the roof. I wasn't expecting it to go quite this crazy. I could have moved into glass at this rate. I didn't expect silicon to maintain its price the way it did, but I guess what happened was Red has the silicon, and so he was fairly comfortable going ahead and moving into the glass, and everybody else was just like, keep buying glass. It'll be all right, guys.
New land is available.
Maybe it will be, but sheesh.
Bidding will begin at
Okay. Let's take the upgrade.
Directives received and
That didn't cost us any money, importantly.
Replicators online.
I can bid more than that for a geotherm.
Stand
Come on,
by.
guys.
6,000.
1, 2, 3, 4 for the electronics.
7.
Okay, yeah, you guys all bid on that, because I don't actually want it. I just don't want anybody else to have it super cheap and easy.
1,000.
Okay. We're upgrading electronics production already. We can keep upgrading that. We can keep making steel. It should stay fairly valuable. The farms aren't doing as well as we might hope, but the water pump is doing great, so that's fine. Frankly, we've had the farms the whole time, so I have no right to complain about them. That was actually more valuable than 12,000, even maybe. It was a pretty good set of tiles, let's be honest. Man, I'm so restricted on claims as robotic. I cannot get used to that, and I never will. Okay. Yep, food's starting to come down. We'll have to decide what to move into afterward. It might just be glass. I might even just do that now. As food keeps coming down, just make that move into glass immediately. Obviously, we're going to be buying a lot of silicon at this point, which is a concern, but any luck will be okay. Wells and Bradbury are starting to fight it out. I'm not too concerned about all that. If I was going to go after anybody, it would be Asimov, quite frankly. I was hoping aluminum would do a bit better. Would you go away, jerk? That's working for me over here. I need that thing. Alright, the glass is doing well. And an Offworld would be wonderful. That's kind of what I'm just pressing for at this point. We need to turn this steel mill off. Maybe just all our steel mills off. With power being this expensive, power's nuts. Might need to just upgrade power production after that electronics to be okay. Turn off all the steel. This Offworld's becoming less and less viable by the second. It's kind of hoping it would stay okay, but it's really not. After we get to one Offworld, we're almost certainly going to have to switch gears into reactors fairly quickly. So we just need all kinds of cash. Alright, let's get that down. This was the plan. We're going to stick to it. Hopefully be alright. Clark's very worried about his debt, apparently. Alright, we can start selling stuff off. Yeah, the steel, I mean, even with this power cost, it's just... Okay, well, buy into glass a little bit, I guess. We're already making glass. Sell out of electronics to keep that production up. This is all fairly okay. Alright, let's sell out now. Don't know exactly where that's going to land. Man, silicon's going insane. I wasn't prepared for this for the electronics production. Maybe I shouldn't have put down the glass, because that definitely contributed to driving it quite as insane as it did. That is a lot of stock buying going on, and I'm not getting involved. I'm just committing all my resources to myself at the moment, and I don't know if that's exactly the right decision. A patent lab would also be kind of nice, but the iron mine is just so good. It's hard to convince myself to push into the patent lab. Anyway, the reactors should still be very strong, because we'll be able to use them to send resources and the like. I'm a little bit worried about where Clark's at. He's just managed to make a large amount of money very quickly on all of his nice on-world production, whereas I was kind of committed to this off-world play. Maybe a bit too much, especially because... No, let's not do that. That would be a bad decision. Bring back the fuel, sell it, send food this time. It came up at the worst moment possible, because now everybody saw it and can react to it with this auction going on, which isn't really what you want.
6,000.
Can bid on this. We did upgrade power, but not enough yet, apparently, so we need to upgrade it again. Oh, are we really... no, we're not. It was close, but no, it wasn't meant to be. Alright, these glass furnaces could actually go back into steel mills. Obviously, they're not as good as our old steel mills, but steel has gone way up in price right now.
12.
Fairly comfortable bidding on that again.
14,000.
That kind of takes away some of the silicon consumption to hopefully keep our electronics strong. I really don't want to get too much debt for that, frankly. 127,000 is what we would need to make the buyout. We could go into not chem production. That would be ridiculous. Let's just move into steel right now. Steel should be really good for us. Hopefully that price holds as well, with any luck. Yeah, glass is good too, but silicon's just too crazy. Silicon's just too crazy, I think. Okay, we're upgrading fuel, we're upgrading power. Man, I just don't have tiles compared to last game. It's nuts trying to play after playing expansive so long. Grab up one more goon squad. That's definitely a risk, grabbing up that goon squad, but with any luck it'll pan out. Teleportation got researched by Wells. What else does he have already? Teleportation and nanotech. Okay, those are both quite strong. Those are reasonable for him to have. Power's shooting up in price. Oh, that's crazy. The steel is barely making us money just because of the power cost of it right now. That's so nuts. The reactors are still doing okay. We are upgrading our power production, thankfully, but man, I wasn't expecting power to do this. All right, send fuel. Man, Wells is halfway to buying us. Are you serious right now? 126,000 is what we need to go ahead and finish off Asimov. I doubt we're going to make it because we basically just need an off-world send to make that happen. Losing money there. Not yet losing money on the electronics. Power is just so nuts. That is just crazy. And now there's a solar flare, and unfortunately we don't have any solar panels down yet. Well, this didn't all pan out the way I was expecting at all, mostly because of that power short.
The black market is online.
141,000. If we get this off-world send, which we will have before too long, we should be okay. Because I'm committing to that, I'm not going to worry about how much money I'm sitting on right now. I really want this buy. Nobody else seems to want it because they should have the cash for it. But nobody else is going for it. For what I think because all of their stocks have been getting bought up, whereas mine has been getting ignored. That's the big deal there. So, you guys are driving prices nuts. What are you guys doing to prices? I should have just gone into solar panels. No, he got the buy. Oh, I really needed that. It was close. We needed about 5 more seconds and we would have been golden. But we did not have 5 more seconds, as it turned out. Alright, we need to start using the rest of this money. We could go into another off-world market, quite frankly, and that might be acceptable. We need a claim to do it, but man, steel mills are just so bad because power's so nuts. I can't even... Let's just put down wind turbines for all I care right now. I've already upgraded power so much, we may as well.
A new claim is available for auction.
Do I want to go for this off-world? Probably not. Although, it is an option, maybe. It would take basically purchasing a new claim, planting the off-world itself, and so it would take like 2 or 3 sins to be worthwhile, but I think I have that much time. The problem is, I would need a patent lab as well to kind of push for thinking machines. I can go for this claim auction to help out with everything else and maybe still be alright. I don't know what Wells is up to in that patent lab, but a lot of people still don't like thinking machines these days, so maybe it's acceptable. But I really would need it if I wanted to make these plays. All right, 20,000. I'll pay all that off with power fairly quickly, hopefully. That does kind of commit me to this course of action, but I think I'm going to go for the patent lab instead of the immediate off-world, and we'll figure out everything else later. Keep upgrading what? Upgrade electronics. They're kind of okay, but power is still probably our single best source of money right now. So we'll just keep upgrading that as long as everybody else lets us, and keep buying into Herbert, because why not? We need to buy into somebody. It's also who Clark is buying into, interestingly enough. Well, totally drained our cash reserves. Any luck, we'll be okay, but there's really no guarantee. How are the chems doing? The chems are still doing alright. That's good. Silicon, not so much. The electronics is still okay. We just need these off-worlds to keep going. Thankfully, nobody's punished us for them at all. That's like the one little bright light right now. Now, unfortunately, these chem labs are not going to be stable for long, which is part of the reason I didn't bother to upgrade chems, because I knew that the chem labs were going to get bad. Thinking machines did get taken. That really hurts. All right, I should have noticed that before the patent lab completed. That was entirely my fault. Let's take superconductor, and then we'll get out of the patent lab, I think. These chems should go bad in a moment here. So we're going to go ahead and switch into the reactors that we knew we were going to want eventually. Let's upgrade that fuel production again, because that should stay valuable. Go ahead and secure the last little bit of my stock, and then I really need to make a push for Herbert at his 339,000 purchase price. That's quite a long ways away, but hopefully we can make it work. These can just go back into steel before too long, I think. The superconductor, With any luck, what's going to happen is power is just going to kind of start rubber banding, and so superconductor will allow us to partially ignore it and just keep very strong power production off this geo plus this geo and still be okay. These are still doing very good for money, though, even with power down to $72. I don't know how much more money we could actually make by switching into anything else right now.
Look at all the money.
All right, launch. Oxygen this time should be strong. This is why I don't auto-launch, by the way. For anybody, I keep getting asked that question. Why don't you auto-launch? This game is why I don't auto-launch. If I don't auto-launch ever, then I'm not used to needing auto-launch in order to kind of assess these situations quickly. And I can stay kind of acceptably minded about the whole thing. All right, we got the superconductor. Let's just go ahead. We're not going to take perpetual motion. Let's get the Offworld down here. That's going to drive steel nuts. Let's go ahead and get down that steel production. We haven't upgraded steel at all yet. We might want to do that. Wells is actually halfway to just buying us out. That's crazy. Which means he bought somebody else, but not Herbert, which is kind of our goal. It takes how much to buy me? I'm not sure. 600,000-ish to buy me, so he was sitting on about 300,000 to get his buy done. It's reasonable. Let's see. The electronics is still okay. I wish we had upgraded it one more by now, but we just haven't. Silicon's come down. I haven't been looking at anybody else at all. I'm just completely focused on what I'm doing with my 2 Offworlds in my corner. Let's grab a mutiny. Eventually, people are probably going to start trying to mutiny my Offworlds. That's why I'm going ahead and grabbing one now. All right, send fuel again. Fuel's coming way down in price. We might want to switch into chems because chems are extremely valuable right now. My big concern with that is if I start consuming too much fuel, it kind of like it hurts my off-world prices, and I'm kind of expecting other people to make that chem switch. All right, well, we have a ridiculous amount of power production at this point with superconductor plus all the upgrades we've done, so we can just totally ignore that short. I might even just stop selling. How are the reactors doing? They're still okay because we've upgraded them so much. It's not really a good reason for them to be okay, but they are. Yeah, upgrading steel still. Trying to upgrade electronics. I just don't have any tiles, and it's crazy. It's crazy not having any tiles. Okay, 200,000. We're about halfway there. Silicon short is not good.
Colony established.
Keep selling down fuel. We might need to turn these off. Yep, we just need to turn these off at this point. We can move into some steel. We could also just move into some iron very quickly. And then move back into steel. We can move into like iron. This could be silicon. It could also just be a steel mill though, so I'm going to move it into a steel mill. That keeps our water powerful at this point. We still have an off-world send going off this fuel, which is very cheap, so I'm actually just going to buy a bunch of it up right now. While it stays very cheap, hopefully. Okay, power's doing okay. We're actually going to stop auto-selling power. It's not that much money a second. With any luck, it might drive the price up before too long. Might help drive the price up before too long. I think other people are starting to consider off-worlds. At least electronics are getting really expensive, and I have no idea why. Our electronics production is still pretty good. Man, water is a lot higher than it really should be on this map with all this water coming in. That guy could get nuked. Yep, okay. Somebody's trying to start breaking our stuff. We could buy a goon squad, but I'm not going to. We actually should have enough cash at this point to go ahead and make that buy I was talking about on Herbert. Now, that's a risky play because it gave Clark a lot of money and set us back down to 0. But with any luck, it'll pan out because now we have just so much more territory to use. We have another engineering lab. Let's upgrade some water production now because we actually have good amount of water coming in. These need to be turned off. I don't know why those aren't turned off. Those should have been automatically turned off. I'm going to check that setting later. These should have been automatically turned off, and they weren't. I don't know why. We'll check that later. We have carbon production coming in now as well, which is fantastic because we purchased no, we actually have our own carbon coming in. Hold on. Does she have carbon anywhere? No. Okay. That's really interesting, trying to play scavenger without carbon. It apparently worked for a while, but not forever. I thought we would get... whatever. It's fine. Thankfully, the iron is coming in quite nicely and making us a good amount of money. The steel is still making really strong money as well. We can just keep heavily upgrading all this stuff. We could even just short water. We're not actually making anything from water right now, so why not? We can even just do something like nuke that right there. Don't want to throw a dynamite at that at all right now. Worried about this getting blown up. That would kind of suck, but what can you do? Don't know if I want to move into more off-worlds. That seems pretty dangerous. It would cost me 760,000 to buy out this Wells. Cost me 760,000-ish to buy out Clark. Unfortunately, they are all actually in 3 off-worlds at this point, which is part of what's kept steel as expensive as it is. I have to have carbon from somewhere, right? No, I do have carbon. I have to, there's this carbon right here of mine. There has to be more carbon somewhere. Where's the rest of my carbon? I have 2 elemental quarries down. Where are they? I just don't know. I just don't even know. All right. Keep sending the fuel. This fuel sending is still really good. Okay. Turn those back on. Turn those back on because water's gone a little nuts. Okay. Yeah, this guy actually committed to a ridiculous amount of water. So why don't we just cancel this and do this instead? Because we have a lot of electronics production that's very heavily upgraded. With any luck, we'll be all right. Still just kind of holding these. Don't want to throw them anywhere just yet. Could toss out a mutiny. That seems real dangerous, though. All right, what do we upgrade? What do we upgrade? Let's upgrade carbon. We could also upgrade iron, actually. That might be all right. Maybe it's to the point where we can actually get a couple off-worlds down at this point. We have a lot of steel sitting around. We don't want to just sell all of it off. We do need more claims. Okay, what do we scrap if we want to do this? We could scrap some of our water production. That might be okay. And we could scrap, what, some of our chems, some of our food. What, do we scrap anything over here instead? What can we scrap here? We could scrap a good metal mine. Don't really want to do that. We could just scrap this steel mill that's off in the middle of nowhere not being supported. Go for that. Those are kind of expensive. I'm hoping I can get 2 or 3 cents off of them, though, to make them valuable, because they're really good. Unfortunately, we're still quite late to them in general.
Look at all the
Do I just go for this? We're just going to try. All right, it worked. Let's grab up a mutiny for ourselves right away. Clark is halfway to buying us, and that is terrifying. Of course, we are actually much closer than halfway to buying him, so maybe it's all right. Mutiny it right back. That's why we did it the way we did, and actually pre-bought that mutiny so that we can keep that send going. All right, fuel's getting more and more expensive, exactly the way we want right now. The engineering labs aren't doing anything. What do I upgrade? Let's upgrade food, because we haven't upgraded food very much. We could have upgraded carbon a bit more as well. Carbon probably would have been better. We've only got 2 carbon coming in a second compared to our electronics, but it's still very, very good. Whoa, he bought so heavily into that. Let's just kill him right now. We know he was the one that bought super heavily into that. That deletes a whole bunch of money from the board because he did it before the short went through. So we know that was the scavenger player who did it. Suddenly we kill him. We can get a ridiculous amount of money off of this still, hopefully, from the expansive player buying in later. Now we have 7 off-worlds, and we just need to make sure they are going like crazy, is what we need to do at this point. All right, let's check chems. They're still making kind of 91. Maybe not as much as the reactors, though. So, no, let's actually get rid of our steel. Steel is bad at this point. Iron is bad at this point. We're just going to get rid of all of it, call it a wash, and just move straight into these reactors. We have plenty of water to kind of support this. I'm going to go ahead and do a control shift down in a moment just to see exactly where everything stands. We're at 531,000. We need 944 to finish it up. Dynamite on an off-world market. That is relatively acceptable. We still have some dynamite lying around of our own. He has thinking machines, so blowing his stuff up isn't particularly effective. But we can still try it on this guy, because this one isn't affected by thinking machines. That's going to be the most effective thing for us to blow up right now. Let's turn off our food. Water is still coming in brilliantly for us, which is fantastic. All kinds of water production. He's kind of stalled out at this 52 right now. Let's actually send food. It should make us a bit more money right now than sending something like fuel. So that's all fine. How much am I sitting on at this point? 941. We just need one more send, and we've got it just about wrapped up. We can also wait for 2 seconds and get the buy.
Look at all the money.
Yeah, I couldn't see the carbon on the ground anywhere. For whatever reason. Oh, right here. See this black line? This black line. Like, I love the rest of the stuff, right? But I'm zoomed out all the way like this. Where's the line? I'm curious. Just where is it? You know, this is what I'm talking about. Where's the other? Is there more carbon somewhere? Like, it's barely visible. This could use a little bit of work. Soren, I know you've been hanging out. This could use work. Because I just couldn't see it, and I never saw it. I was too distracted. Oh, well. Oh, that wasn't yours? That was somebody else's? Okay, well, then where's the rest of it? Oh, it's right down here. Okay, the point still stands, right? The point still stands. When I'm zoomed out this far, when I'm zoomed out like this, where's the line? There is no line that's visible. Like, you can't see it. So I would like that to be fixed. That's just frustrating. Just a little quality of life thing. Stop attacking me. Okay. Oh, chat, you guys are good for me, calling me out on my nonsense. Mid-game, half my buildings were costing too much money. Okay, yeah. That contributed. Once again, though, I feel like Offworlds were a pretty big play that game. It's risky for us to do because it kind of, honestly, it relies on us just not looking threatening and people not targeting us too early, but still, we made a lot of money Offworld. On the other hand, okay, somebody pointed out, when I said electronics are so expensive, they pointed out, yeah, it's almost the price of iron. The reason I said electronics were so expensive is look how much money I made on electronics that game. Look at how much money I actually made off of electronics that game. Also, when Gameslayer died, I almost had you too. It was so close that, like, it would have been a near thing. Anyways, but the reason I was commenting on electronics being as expensive as they were is because I had literally never stopped making electronics immediately after hitting HQ level 5. For the entire late game, I just sat there and made electronics, and I got to just leave that production there, upgraded to 100%. And that's nuts. So this is why I was talking about electronics, despite the fact that, okay, yeah, glancing at the game, maybe they didn't look that expensive, but the whole idea was electronics never moved. And that's huge. That is huge. Just being able to leave your building there and sit there churning out money. Let's think about that for a second. I had what? Like 4 electronics tiles, right? 4 electronics tiles for most of the game. Let's see. I had red, which means I also had what? 1 of these bases? I'm not even sure which one. I never even looked at them. Talk about a huge mistake there at the end of the game. But most of that was just 4 electronics tiles. And I made, what? Like 850,000 in total once you get... No, sorry. 150,000. I made about 750,000 on electronics that game.